This is Ron Kelleher with the Inspired Leadership Podcast, episode number 552. Today's episode is entitled, Are You a Faithful Steward? How Business Leaders Can Make a Lasting Impact.
Hello, and welcome to Inspired Leadership, the podcast for Christian leaders in the marketplace who want to be the best leaders they can be. And now your host, Ron Kelleher.
Meet Sarah, a remarkable business leader who has honed the art of becoming a faithful steward in her corporate journey. Sarah realized the profound impact of embracing faithful stewardship as her business flourished. Today, I want to talk about and explore the essence of being a faithful steward and how it empowers business leaders to create lasting, positive change, and discover the transformative power of this principle and how it shapes leadership practices in the corporate world. First, unveiling the heart of a faithful steward. Being a faithful steward requires a keen focus on investing and spending wisely. In the parable of the talents described in Matthew chapter 25, the master entrusts money to 3 servants and instructs them to invest it until his return. Upon returning, he evaluates their investment choices, rewarding the 2 servants who wisely multiplied their funds. At the same time, the one servant who buried his share faced the consequences of not maximizing the resources entrusted to him. Similarly, in the parable of the prodigal son described in Luke chapter 11, the son recklessly spends his entire inheritance on extravagant living, ending up with nothing and facing dire circumstances. These 2 parables illustrate Jesus' emphasis on the importance of both investing and spending responsibly as faithful stewards. As business leaders, we must adopt a balanced approach to resource management, making wise investment decisions that yield positive returns while avoiding wasteful spending. By heeding these valuable lessons, we can exemplify the traits of faithful stewards, ensuring effective resource utilization and leaving a legacy of responsible leadership. At the core of every business leader lies the concept of faithful stewardship, epitomizing the responsible management of resources entrusted to us by God. Whether finances, time, talents, or relationships, a faithful steward dedicates each aspect of their life to a greater purpose. Accordingly, embracing this principle empowers leaders to make wiser decisions and establish a deeper purpose in all their endeavors. So number 2, mastering time as a faithful steward. As faithful stewards, we heed the wisdom of Ephesians 5:15 and 16, walking in wisdom and making the best use of the precious gift of time entrusted to us by God. The relentless demands of business can engulf us, leaving little room for personal growth and strategic thinking. Recognizing the value of time, we commit to effective time management, prioritizing essential matters, delegating responsibilities, and investing in self-improvement and spiritual growth. Psalm 90, verse 12 reminds us to number our days and gain wisdom from them. Number 3, nurturing financial faithfulness in leadership. Proverbs 3, verses 9 and 10 teaches us to honor the Lord with our wealth and first fruits, promising abundant blessings. As faithful stewards, financial stewardship is integral to our leadership responsibility. Avoiding extravagant lifestyles and unnecessary expenses, we embrace biblical principles to achieve long-term stability. By setting an example of financial discipline, we foster a culture of wise spending and responsible budgeting within our organizations, ensuring employees manage their finances well, and cultivating a happier, more financially secure workforce. And number 4, leveraging resources for enduring transformation. As good stewards of God's varied grace, 1 Peter 4:10 prompts us to utilize our gifts to serve one another. Effective business leadership transcends mere profit seeking. As faithful stewards, we recognize our team's diverse talents and skills, nurturing them to foster greater productivity and innovation. We inspire our employees with a sense of purpose, showing them how their work contributes to a larger vision that positively impacts society. Romans chapter 12, verses 6 to 8 underscores the importance of using our gifts in generosity and acts of mercy, enhancing our leadership impact. In conclusion, becoming a faithful steward is a transformative journey that empowers business leaders to make a lasting impact. Embracing responsible resource management, mastering time, nurturing financial faithfulness, and leveraging resources for meaningful change shapes leaders into transformative forces within the corporate world. Christian leaders must remember that in terms of time, every minute of every day is a gift from God. So every decision we make about spending our time is a spiritual one. In terms of finances, every dollar allocated to us in our budget is God's money. So every spending decision we make is a spiritual decision. And finally, talents and skills. Our talent and skills, along with those of every member of our team and every volunteer, are gifts from God. So every decision we make about skill and talent utilization is also a spiritual decision. Following in the footsteps of leaders like Sarah who embody faithful stewardship, we can create a corporate landscape defined by purpose, impact, and enduring transformation. Well, that's it for this week. And as always, questions and comments are welcome. Do you think Christian leaders must be faithful stewards of all the resources, time, finances, talents, skills, etc., that God has given us? I'd love it if you'd come over to the website at ronkelleher.com/episode 552 and leave me a question or a comment. And as always, before we go, I'd like to ask you to do me a quick favor. That is to hop on over to whatever podcast service you're listening to this on. Leave a ranking for the show and a comment if you wish. It does help us get the show into the hands of more and more people. So I thank you in advance for that and pray that God would help us all to be the powerful and the inspired leaders He intends us to be. That's it for this episode of Inspired Leadership. You'll find a complete transcript of this episode on my website at www.ronkelleher.com. My prayer now is that you'll go out and be the powerful, inspired leader that God intends us to be.
Thanks for listening to the Inspired Leadership Podcast at www.ronkelleher.com.